Hey everyone, my name is Troy from Tech Games Etc. And today this list had to be done. It had to be done. This is my top 5 best games of 2012. Now, I'm going to make this video quick and I'm going to go ahead and tell you my top 5 so far. My top 5 in no particular order: Binary Domain, Dragon's Dogma, Lollipop Chainsaw, The Darkness 2, and Transformers Fall of Cybertron. Now, some honorable mentions that didn't make the list that were still good, that if you didn't play them, you need to check out: Medal of Honor Warfighter, Dishonored, Tekken Tag Tournament 2, and Sniper Elite V2. Now let's go through some of these games and why they are in my top 5. First of all, Binary Domain is one of the most underrated, unappreciated, unnoticed great games of 2012. The storyline was great. The characters are great. It was based in this sci-fi setting. The action was great. You think like killing robots would get repetitive? It didn't. This is what the equivalent of if Terminator did a good game. This is the equivalent of that. It dealt with robots. It dealt with humans who were robots who thought they were human. The writing was incredible. Everything was incredible. Now, the only thing, like, the gameplay was great. It had boss fights. It had a great ending. Great characters. I think it had like 4 alternate endings based on how you did in the game. And this is the only, and I beat this game at least 4 times. I loved it. Like, it didn't have a strong multiplayer, a strong survival mode. It was glitchy, but campaign-wise, can't be beat. Dragon's Dogma. Dragon's Dogma is one of the greatest RPGs I have ever played. Simply put, the fighting engine in this game shows us what can be done. If you ever watch movies like Lord of the Rings, if you ever watch any sci-fi fantasy type setting where there are cyclopses, griffins, warriors, this is the only RPG that captures that. Now, compared to Skyrim, story-wise, side quest-wise, it can't come close to Skyrim. But Skyrim wishes it had a fighting engine like this. If Skyrim had a fighting engine like this, it would have sold probably double of what it did. Because Dragon's Dogma showed us what is possible. You can have a ton of... The frame rate never slowed down. If it did, it was only minor. The spells are great. Fighting the enemies were great. The dragons in this, I love dragons. The dragons in here were great. I mean, it didn't have the best storyline, like I said, but fighting engine wise, hands down, this was one of the most under the radar games I've ever come across. Like, if I did news on Dragon's Dogma, like for instance, I did the video on why assassins are the best, 30,000 views. This thing has a following like no other, and Capcom actually got it right. Number 3, The Darkness 2. What can I say about The Darkness 2? Great storyline as well. It didn't have a multiplayer per se, but it did have a co-op mode, which continued some of the story. The storyline was gritty. Anyone could die. I'm glad that the main character wasn't mute. You can actually hear him talking. The enemies were great. The boss fights were great. The firefights were wonderful. This game deserved to be on my list in the top 5. Now, Transformers Fall of Cybertron. This is why it beat out. This game really captures the atmosphere of what Transformers is. From their voice acting to, it had a great multiplayer, a great survival mode. I think it had a survival mode. And a great campaign. Overall, this game was great. It hit every aspect. And for this game to do it off of off of a franchise that's been around for years and really captures it, this game brings me back to what I remember Transformers used to be growing up. But also, let's talk about some of the honorable mentions before I give my, like, what is the best out of this list. Number one. Now, Medal of Honor Warfighter is just pretty much Call of Duty on steroids. This game actually had to make an honorable mention because after playing Warfighter, I don't play Call of Duty no more. This game is flawed as far as aspect-wise, like loadouts, menus, layouts, things like that. But when you're on that battlefield, explosions going off, gun sounds are sounding amazing, destroy Call of Duty, even with its flaws. Dishonored, pretty much great stealth game, great storyline. It felt like Skyrim, but with an assassin. This is something, if you haven't played this game, it's a must. At least rent it, try it out. This game deserves to be an honorable mention. Tekken Tag Tournament 2 is the only fighting game that I play. I don't like Street Fighter. I don't like Dead or Alive. None of these games really appealed to me. Tekken Tag Tournament 2 offered a lot of features, a great online community. I actually bought the arcade stick, as you can see back there, because of this game. I'm actually trying to enter my first tournament if I get around to practicing more. But anyway, and Sniper Elite V2. This is probably, it's like Binary Domain a little bit. If you haven't played this game, if you love sniping, especially in Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, BF3, you have to play this game. This game is probably one of the most underrated games of 2012 as well. It had a great survival mode, great campaign, and also I got a word from oh man, what's the studio name? 505 Games, that they said that they're bringing multiplayer aspects to online. I wish they had it at launch, but you know, check to see if I'm right, but I think I am. But out of all these, what is my number one game of the year? If I had the top game of the year, like the Video Game Awards, VGAs, it would have to be Binary Domain. Binary Domain, if I had an award for the best of the year out of all these. And I also, did I mention why I like Lollipop Chainsaw? My bad. Lollipop Chainsaw was also in my top number 5, excuse me. Lollipop Chainsaw, again, it felt fresh. It felt like a God of War with a cheerleader killing zombies. Great storyline. I have movies for Binary Domain and Dragon's Dogma. You can go to my channel and look under my playlist, and I have in-game video game cinemas of all the cinemas from Binary Domain and Lollipop Chainsaw if you would like to look at that. But anyway, Lollipop Chainsaw has great replay value. There's mostly time trial stuff where you can get the highest score on the leaderboard. But overall, the gameplay was fresh. I love the characters. I love the main character. I'm glad we had some type of new IPs, intellectual properties this year. Lollipop Chainsaw is definitely one of them. But like I said, which is my number one? If I had the Video Game Awards, my number one game of the year out of all these, it would have to be Binary Domain. Binary Domain was one of those games where it was just really good. Like, this is the only game on this list where I beat it 4 times. I kept playing it. I don't know what it was about Binary Domain that I connected with. Was it the characters? Was it the writing? The boss fights were incredible. You really connected with the characters. You didn't want none of them to die. Some of them died. Some of them turned on you. It was a lot of plot twists. It was a lot of, like, there was this one part where this guy thought he was a human, but he was actually a robot, and he was like, "What am I? What am I?" And your main character was like, "You're just not human." He was like, "Ah!" Boom, and shot his head off, and I was just like, no, shot himself in the head, and his eyeball was out, and you saw the robot part of him like short circuiting and stuff. So this is my top top game of the year out of all I mentioned. But if you haven't tried these games yet, please try them out. They're really worth a try, a rental at least, and you might like them. But there you go. There you have it. There go my top 5 games and my honorable mentions of 2012. Tell me what you think, community. What are your top 5 of the year for 2012? And I hope 2013 will be something great. Next year, I'm going to have better production as far as having clips of these games. Because unfortunately, you know, I'm still within my YouTube channel, still new to my YouTube channel, and trying to come up with content. So next year, you're going to have more better production. You're going to see clips of these games playing. But as of right now, this is all I can do. I enjoyed myself. 2012 was great, had some great games. I'm looking for 2013, and we're going to see what happens. But there go my top 5 plus my honorable mentions of 2012. And if you like what you saw today, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. It really helps out a lot. And there go all my contact information. See you later. Thanks a lot.